What is up, everybody? It's your boy Fishhawker, the 96 Hedgehog here with our draft recap of the draft recap. Wrong one. Our draft takeover team analysis for the NBA Moonblast division. And I know what you're thinking. It sounds a little weird, a little like, wait, what? But I'll explain it all here in just a second. But first, if you guys are excited, leave a like if you're already subscribe if you are new. Join the Fun Shocker crew today because you'll be familiar with the king of the crew. And with that being said, let's get into this video. Don't mind me taking a sip of my Pepsi. I'm not sponsored by Pepsi. Please sponsor me. um. So yes, I am in Moonblast, which is a different division name than Moongeist, obviously. But let me explain how this happened. So we had one of our coaches that dropped from Moonblast, unfortunately, which is very sad. We always hate having to have a drop and do our best to replace that drop. And I actually looked at the team once I knew this coach was dropping, and I actually wanted to look at the team and see what it was. And honestly, the team intrigued me. I had to really chop away at the team because there was at least four mons in this team I wanted to keep. But afterwards, from what I found out with points and stuff like that, I unfortunately had to drop another mon. So the team you see right now on the top half of the screen right there, that was the original team. Well, technically, the last 2 to 3 months weren't really on that draft, but that was transactions that were still going to be made. Then were officially applied to it, but still would have been roughly the same thing regardless. So, overall, though, um, I really had to make some tough choices. Out of the top five, I did keep three. I unfortunately had to drop two to really kind of budget out the points to make this team fairly more better than what it was originally. Because at this point in time, you can see this team is almost literally like a 7 to 8 mon team. Barely even that, to be honest. So I'm gonna go over the team and reason why I dropped stuff I did. So let's be honest. Let's really be honest. These were joke picks. I didn't keep Gligar. Now the reason I didn't keep Gligar, I didn't feel like it was the ground typing we really wanted. I like my ground typings to be a little more offensive, but also still having that nice little defensive bulk still. But overall, I just didn't think I would have definitely maybe tried Gligar because Gligar does give me at least a decent enough speed here and Hypercutter, which means I can't be intimidated, but also having the option to also be immunity, so I can't even be poisoned, which is really, really great. But more times than not, it's a little bit of a hassle being poisoned, but you never know. But Gligar, I didn't really feel like him only. He's my boy. I love this guy. He's really good. But on this team, it just didn't make any sense. It was only on this team for one reason only, and that was for rapid spin support, which I can understand. But I did not really like Hitmonlee on this team. Hitmonlee, I still think is a really good Pokemon. I think you definitely need to try it, especially going with something like Curse Wider, but that is such a goated set. I don't care what anyone says. So definitely would say try this mon out. It's a really good mon. So going into this team, sorry if you hear my cat going crazy. I don't understand what's wrong with her. Ginger, stop. Uh, one of the mons we dropped, unfortunately, was Shaman. I am a big Shaman stan. I do love Shaman. But in terms of a grass type, I feel like there was other grass types on the draft I really liked, and or draft or the free agency. And Shaman's just been a Pokemon I feel like I've been having. I can do something with, but I just don't have the pieces to really make it that great of a farm. So I decided to take a break from Shaman, and I don't really want to go back to Shaman just yet. So I wanted to get a different grass type. Then came Ashgran, and I'm sorry to you guys. I'm going to say this right now. I personally think in Draft League, I think this is not a worth round pick. I understand the great offense it provides, the utility it provides, and overall what a great Pokemon it can be. I personally think it is not a good Pokemon. I do not think it is worth the picks that it needs to be picked at. It's just for not a mon for me. Anyone else that loves using this Pokemon and has amazing success with this Pokemon, that's you. That is 100% you, and I respect you for liking this Pokemon and doing well with it. Personally, for me, I've always been able to beat it, and I've never lost to it. And I haven't really enjoyed it at all. I've tried it once. I didn't enjoy it because I could never really get into Ashburn form. So, personally speaking, that just wasn't a Mon mint for me. And out of this group, I'm not gonna lie, I had to pick one more sack out of this because of the fact that it was just really hard to really pick. And the only reason I dropped this Mon when I did is because I have currently am using it right now. May or may not make it last longer in playoffs, but it was a Mon that I've gotten a chance to use a few times now. I feel like I want to still try some Mons I haven't got to try a lot of, and also Mons I haven't really used a lot. So I dropped Victini, but I was so hesitant on dropping Victini. The only reason I dropped Victini was just so I can get points. That was the only reason. Otherwise, I would have kept Victini. But every type of plan I wanted to move around with having Victini on there, getting the monster that I personally wanted on the draft, it just was not working the way I wanted it, and I wasn't patching up holes and weaknesses that I felt like were still happening in the draft. So overall, I had to make the drop on Victini, so that was very important. Which left us with three Mons. So let's go ahead and start off with not only introducing the new team, but also talk about why I kept the three Mons. So the first Mon we're keeping on this team is my girl, Venus Flytrap, baby. I am such a big fan of this Pokemon. For those that do not know my Draft League career, this is a Pokemon that was the very first Mega. It was either this or Mega Beedrill. I cannot tell which league I had that had the Megas going on, which was my first ever Mega I got to use in Draft League format from start to finish versus like, when you start, restart, and stuff like that. So this was my first ever Mega I got to use in Gen 7 Draft League. And because I started Draft League actually, I believe it was in. I'm pretty sure it was in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So I really got into Draft League super late, like a generation and a half to two generations back, essentially. And this was my first Mega and the first pick I ever picked in a Draft League. So I think for the fact that we are going to be ending Gen 8 here pretty soon, and pretty much just about 2 months in a week and a half, I wanted to go out on a bang with this team, and I kind of want to have some fun with this team. Pick up Pokemon I don't get to use all that much. Pokemon that I have used before, but have barely even tried at all. And mons I think can be just so much fun to use for the rest of the season and to experiment with. Going into Generation 9, if some of these Pokemon are still in the game, obviously. But I love Mega Mawile. Huge power, insane one that can run max HP every single week. Intimidate support before Mega Evolution is super really good. Really good defensive piece to a team. Also a relatively good special defensive piece. It's also not that bad to outspeed like low speed bulk Pokemon as well. And just smack him right in the nose with those jaws, man. This is a great Pokemon. I think it's a really good offensive piece. Also, priority and Sucker Punch plays mind games with so many opponents out there. And it overall has decent enough coverage. It could be slightly better coverage, I will not lie, but with a Maul like Mega Mawile, you'll get what you get with this Pokemon. Also gave me a Stealth Rocker for this team if I ever wanted to run a utility defensive Mawile that still hits hard, so I think that was really good. Up next, we have your girl here. She is the queen here. We have Queen here. I'm going to go with maybe a different name if I can. And I think I'm still going to go with regular. I think I've come to learn to like regular Nidoqueen better. Nidoqueen, I still say to this day, after using it in TBL about almost a year or so ago, that this is strictly the best Nido ever in draft. I'm sorry to you Nidoking stands out there. I love Nidoqueen more than King. I have used King several times, and I don't get too much success with King. I get more success with Queen, and I love Queen more. And Queen's really great for the fact that you can literally do something like this, and even with running something like this, you can still run something like this, and then if you wanted to go something like this and that. Literally, you could run a defensive but offensive Nidoqueen to not only also stack with hazards, but to provide an offensive Pokemon as well. I truly do think Nidoqueen is a good Pokemon. Definitely worth probably the tier 2 or tier 3 slots that it's always in. It is a phenomenal Pokemon. I love Nidoqueen so much. It is such a great Pokemon. I cannot wait to use Nidoqueen again. It's been such a long time since I've used it. I'm excited for this. And the last one I decided to keep on this team was Spectre, aka Pegasus. Cause yes, Yugi boy, yes indeed. But so why would I keep Spectre? I think a lot of people would have thought I would have dropped this over Victini. Here's the one reason I didn't drop this thing. This is only the second time I'm technically using it for the rest of the season. Because the three ones I picked, I'm not dropping them. They're gonna be on the team regardless, and I might even have to be bringing them almost every single week. Who knows? But I loved Spectre last season in the first ever season of NBA, believe it or not, because you guys can check out that rough run we had over him. And Spectre was honestly one of, if not was the MVP of the team. It was such a good Pokemon that season. And I think I just really used it so well, and I think I played with it really well. And it's just a good Pokemon in the right matchup, man. The right support that it can get is super good. And you look at it right now, we have one of the better supporters for Dark Switchings with Mega Mawile, and we already got like two more, if not three more checks to Dark typing, which is super good. And we already have one of the good best checkings to normal typing with Mega Mawile. Mega Mawile is an amazing Pokemon. Followed by the second Pokemon we're gonna have on this team. This next Pokemon we're gonna have on the team is like a really good answer to normal typing. I think I built a team that really helps support Spectre because right now I got two Rockers, a Toxic Spiker. I'm going to have another roughly three more Rockers on this team. So we're going to have really good hazard stacking with Rocks options now because it's going to force hazard removal and it has to really perform like force specific prep for a lot of teams out there. So I'm really excited for Spectre again, and I really hope to have some fun with it this season. Now let's get into the new mods on the squad. First up is my boy Como O, and I actually kind of forgot what I named you. I'm not gonna net. Oh, I remember what I named you. I named you Scale Mail. Apple High School DxD, Scale Mail, as in the dragon armor that you say wore in that show. And yes, I admit to watching it. And no, I don't watch it just for you know what. I actually like the anime itself. So leave me alone. But I love Komodo. I've only actually, believe it or not, used this thing only one time, and that mod performed relatively good. I think it went like 7-4 for me, which doesn't really show a lot for what it did. And but it only came to like maybe like 4 or 5 games. But still, I loved using Komodo. I think Komodo is such an underrated dragon that I don't get drafted a lot. I will do not remember, but I will double check. I do not know if this can run Clangorous Soul, the Omni boosting move. I would have to double check that. But even if it doesn't, it's still a Komodo. It's a great rocker. It's a really good defensive Pokemon as well that we support. Iron Defense Buddy Press sets are really good with this Pokemon. Throat Spray options is really good as well. This Pokemon also with Dragon Edge is so scary under the right hands. This Pokemon is also such a phenomenal threat. I am super excited to try Komodo again this time around, and I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it. It's gonna be awesome. And again, just give me that really good, strong fighting type to pair off with the draft I have right now to help support Spectre in terms of its offense. Also, was a good Ghost check to this team. Now, Ghost is also going to be a bit of a hard time for my draft to deal with a little bit, but Como was going to be one of my best Ghost answers because of access to Bulletproof. Now, Shadow Ball does not affect me anymore, so I have a way to switch into Shadow Ball every single time, which is really great. I still think Moonblast should not hit me if it's a blasting move with Bulletproof, ignoring it. Sorry, random tangent happened again. Sorry. It has some free sleeper abilities in Overcoat, to counter against the Moongus teams, and Soundproof to stop any Hyper Voice pixelates from mons like Gardevoir, Mega Gardevoir, and stuff like that, and force specific prep from them, then just switch it up because of Como O, which is really great. The next mod I picked up was, of course, you already know it. It is my main man, Vader here. Or, no, we're going to call him, I think I called him Eclipse. I think it was. I don't remember. I think I called it Eclipse. I don't. I really don't remember. I don't know if Eclipse was taken or not. But we grabbed Necrozma. Necrozma again, another really good rocker for this draft. But more importantly, a really good defensive Pokemon that can really be players. Defensive Psychic with Prisma Armor is really good. And this gave me a really good fighting type check that I needed to make sure I counter it against some of the other teams I have out there. Because fighting typing is going to be really big for my draft in terms of one of the best Pokemon I have to switch into Ghost types, which we'll see in the next two picks. But I absolutely love Necrozma. Necrozma is one of the really slept on Pokemon and one of the most underrated Pokemon that does not get drafted like at all anymore. Like I love this Pokemon. It's a good Pokemon. I think it provides so much good utility and offense for a team. I am so excited to have this Pokemon back, and I am ready to have a lot of fun with this Pokemon again. And hopefully, I can try to be a little more diverse with my sets this time around. And I really would like to try more to change up with the way I like to play Mons and stuff like that. So, up next, I am so excited for this Mon. I am so excited for this. Now, this has been a Pokemon I have literally been wanting to try so much. I tried drafting it and then I dropped it because I wanted better options for my team in terms of what I wanted in the late game. And it sucked. I didn't want to do that. But I'm going to do it this time. And you may ask yourself, why grab a secondary fairy? These fairies do share no common weakness. They can actually help counter their weaknesses. Um, Azu is weak to freeze dry base mons. I have a steel type that resists. Mawile is weak to fire. I have a water type that resists. I'm weak to fairy. I'm weak to poison. Oh, Mega Mawile resists poison. This is a really contrasting thing, and I definitely took Aquarius' advice, by the way. If you didn't know, this is Aquarius, one of MVP, if not, was the genius behind a double dairy typing. Because she went double water fairy, which is working out phenomenally for her. So some applause to her. So I kind of took a little bit page of her book and pairing double fairy on my draft. And this double fairy is so incredible. There's a lot of neutral and super effective weaknesses that they'll still kind of share, but it helps counteract each other's weaknesses to the point where it's so great. And of course, I have to name this after the lovely Aquarius because she is obviously a queen and she is showing off amazing power rest with this Pokemon. I am excited to try this. This is a Pokemon I have been really wanting to try so long. And I think there's a lot of cool things that people sleep on with Azumarill. There's obviously really good defensive sets with Sap Sipper. There's Paris Trap Toxic Stall sets, or just Paris Trapping in general with Whirlpool. Like, this is such a good Pokemon. I am so excited to try Azu. I am very unique to buy Azu, and I cannot wait to try it. It is so exciting. Going into our last three picks, this was the big pickup right here, baby. That was really going to round out the core. That's going to really help Spectra be a great offensive Pokemon for this team. That is going to be Obstagoon, which I cannot help but not name it Gene for Gene Simmons, man. It's just it's just too perfect of a nickname. But I love Obstagoon base 95 speed stat, which is actually a really good kind of bump up to the speeds because right now our speed tiers they're about mids. They're not anything above 100 or more, which is a little bad except for one Pokemon on our team. But I think we can make it work in terms of that. If anything, it deters Sticky Web Mons from coming against our team because, if anything, it's actually going to provide more better usage for my team because not only do I get access to Reckless Double Edge, which honestly, Reckless isn't all that good in sometimes in its matchup, but I can have a Guts Obstagoon that breaks. I can have Defiant Obstagoon that just breaks. This is a Pokemon that's really good. It does get access to Bulk Up, which is really good. But one of the big things about this, along with some of the potential future pivoting I have with Volt Switch, actually, real quick, I want to double check here. Does Oz, because I thought about something here, does Azu learn Flip Turn? It does not. That is very sad. But the thing with Gene was, again, getting access to Parting Shot. This is super good momentum, and stat lowering is so good for this Pokemon. I am very excited to try Obstagoon again because I don't think I've ever really drafted it. I only picked it up in free agency all the time, I feel like. So this is a way I've kind of done it again, but I'm hoping to have a lot more fun with this. I didn't have a chance to really break as much with this mon or have great success with it, but I'm super excited to have this mon back. And speaking of mons, I'm excited to have back. He is back, ladies and gentlemen. it is your boy Sparks, the Luxray, and you know what? We're gonna make him shiny this time around. I kid you not, I absolutely love Luxray. This is such a good, super solid low tier. And for 5 points, it's a tiny bit cheap, but it's very understandable cheap. I love Luxray. The fact that Luxray is another Pokemon that does give me access to not only good defensive sets with Intimidate support, which is really, really good, but also the fact of another Guts Pokemon. Agility Guts is a very scary offensive set if it is played correctly. Also, a fantastic coverage in things like Crunch, Facade, the Fang moves, Play Rough, Psychic Fangs, even Superpower. Also, like I said, with pivoting, with Volt Switch is really good. And, relatively decent enough special sets, even though special sets are only electric moves essentially. But we can rock with that. It's just such a very slept on Pokemon that I do not think. Excuse me there. I do not think it's recognized a lot by what it can provide to a lot of things on a team. So I'm super excited for Luxray. I cannot wait to use Luxray again this season. And honestly, I'm so excited to have this Pokemon back. It is when on a championship team, the first time I ever drafted it, and it was one of my MVP mons on a VGC team I did. And I think like my second or third VGC league I ever did. So I'm so excited to have Luxray back. And the last mon, it's the MVP. It's our homie, Bonsai. And I do not care that he looks this way. I'm also going to keep him shiny because his shiny is really kind of bad. Shell Armor, Eviolite. That is all I need to say about this Pokemon. It does get access to Stealth Rock. Yes, like I said. So I have now, count them, 5 Stealth Rockers. So I have so many options for Stealth Rock, which is really great. I have another mon that is very good as it can is just another physical Pokemon. But what's really good about Bonsai here is that it's the best ground switch I have on my team. I will not lie. Ground is going to be a problem for my draft to deal with. Ghost is slightly a problem, and Fairy is also slightly a problem. But I have 2 phenomenal Fairy Resist in my team right now, in the Nidoqueen and in the Mawile. So we're really looking good on that. And I think it can pressure Fairies relatively good. But I do acknowledge that Grotto does only help with one weakness, and honestly, Grotto's gonna be a Pokemon I only bring maybe once or twice the last couple of weeks of the league. But overall, I'm so excited to have Grotto back. It's gonna be Grotto for the first time ever. I'm really hoping to do well with Grotto. I'm hoping I can bring him to at least one game. That would be awesome if I could. But with that being said, guys, that is going to be the team. Now, I do not know if we are going to be using this team for Week 7 of the Moonblast division, which is a National Dex League, by the way, if I didn't state that already. We're taking on the homie Cumos, one of the legends of the server. I do not know if Cumos wants me to use the old team or my new team for our matchup, but definitely expect Week 8, 9, and 10 for our new team for the rest of that season. Possibly for Week 7, but again, it's up to Cumos. If Cumos would rather have me use the old draft for our matchup against him, I will 100% do it for him just because I'm going to be fair sport about this. Plus, I did take over the team, I think, Actually, no, I took over the team just today, I believe. So it's kind of been roughly a day and a half or so since there was talk about the team being taken over. So it would only be fair if Cumos would like to face the old team versus the new team. So whatever he decides, you guys will see a matchup on that. We actually are taking over the team that is 2-4. So if we do win out, we do have a shot to make the playoffs. If we lose one and win out, it's kind of really up in the air at that point. But with this team, I'm gonna still try to play to win and have a lot of fun. But overall, I'm just gonna kind of have some fun, just experiment with these Pokemon, and also kind of maybe try to amp up my play style a little bit to see if we can do something different with this. So I'm super excited for this team. Thank you so much for watching. Also, let's give a massive shout out to Hodge. He really didn't want to give me this team, not because he didn't want to put too much stress on me having to be in 2 leagues per se, and also help running the leagues itself as well. But I'm very appreciative that he let me have the team because there was a team I was very interested in, and I do thank him for letting me have it over. So let's get some thank you hunts in the chat, in the comment section. I meant to say, but also let him know that he smells because he still smells bad. But thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.